Okay, so Emma, you're gonna show me how to set up a shrimp tank because I have not ever done it, but I really want to, and I just got approval. So let's go make a tank. I really like these little tide lines here. Are these a good size?
With shrimp, the size so much doesn't matter as long as they have, you know, enough room to kind of do their shrimp thing.
The 4 or the 2?
We need a free one?
I don't know.
Then get the bigger one. Was that an option?
Tide line.
So they make little tiny little hang-on back filters. This one's by JBJ, and it's really small. There's a little like sponge that'll go here to kind of
So no one gets pulled into it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What is that?
Lighting? I'm assuming lighting is relatively simple for these guys.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, you do kind of want to keep them busy. There's stuff over here.
All right, so there's a lot of different things you can do here. I guess let's start with the cube.
You won't need a huge thing of substrate since it's a small tank. So there are smaller bags of inert stuff here.
Okay.
Some of the shrimps need a lower pH, and some of them are a little bit easier to take care of.
Okay.
So kind of depending on that.
I like the little black and white ones. I like these dudes.
Those. So with Caradinas, you do want to have them at a lower pH.
Okay.
So that is kind of going to influence the substrate that you want to use in there.
Okay. All right, so we'll grab this guy.
So this one would be more than sufficient on a tank that size to keep some plants alive.
And these are just clip on.
Yep.
Easy.
Clip on the back of the tank. We do like to feed them little shrimp pellets because it has some of the minerals and stuff that they need to molt.
Okay, so let's get to work. We're gonna start building a shrimp tank for the first time ever. Okay, so since this is a nice small bag, I'm assuming I'm probably gonna use the entire thing. With shrimp, can you start with RODI, or do you guys always recommend tap because of the minerals that are in it?
RODI is typically the best route to go, and then just doing something to replace those minerals back into it.
Okay.
But otherwise in Fort Collins, the tap is perfectly fine.
I know, you guys have really nice water in Denver. Yeah. Okay, let's go get some DI water then. Typically, if you were not comfortable with adding the animals directly into the tank along with your turbo start, you could pair it with our fishless fuel. Fishless fuel. It's a little bit of a tongue twister there. This little bottle actually treats 300 gallons worth, so this will last you a very long time and is a great ammonia source to feed the turbo. This little bottle right here can actually treat quite a few gallons. We're only dealing with 4 right now, so we don't need to necessarily deal with the entire 50-gallon treatment bottle. We are fully confident in using Turbo Start along with adding animals immediately. So normally if you didn't want to start straight out the gate with any shrimp, you could pair up your fishless fuel with your Turbo Start. We're not going to have to do that today because we're just going to pop some little guys right on in there. So one of these little dudes treats 50 gallons, so you really don't need to use very much of this at all because this is only 4 gallons. We also have our little enrichment cubes. We just toss these guys in, just kind of, okay. I feel like maybe I'll like put them around in the middle and then we'll get like a really cool plant, I guess, to put around them. So maybe some of these guys. This is a narrow leaf Ludwigia. Okay, I was scared I'm going to say it wrong. It's not a little Harry Potter-ish.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Kind of want like lush, like fluffy stuff. Like, will this do well with my light?
That one might struggle a little bit more. It does require more light since the leaves are so thin. There's less surface area to photosynthesize on.
Oh, okay.
And so if you wanted to do that, you'd want to do like the nicer light.
I have not done freshwater literally since I was a child.
Yes, honey.
Oh my God.
But I used to have lots and lots of freshwater when I was a kid because I bagged and bagged for a fish tank. So how many shrimp could I anticipate with happily keeping in this system?
They don't create a huge bioload, and so you don't have to worry about that so much at all.
I'm gonna grab one, and we probably want to keep these guys clear of the filtration system. It's very much a trend right now over the last few years to have very modern looking equipment. Whenever I was a kid, everything was very bulky, it was just clunky, and everything was just gigantic. And now with LEDs and all of the advances that have been made in so much of the equipment, everything is so much easier, looking sleek. I didn't even have to push the button. So this one's actually cool. It's got like Oh, it's not even a button, it's a touch sensor. That's nifty. So I really do like these guys.
Perfect.
So pure black line Kari or
yeah,
Carrie?
Carrie. They're
Carrie?
Caradinas.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're gonna get about around an inch.
Okay.
So they are just little bitty babies right now.
Okay.
These guys do tend to be a little bit more sensitive, and so water parameters are something you want to keep a little bit of a closer eye on.
So we're going to use our wide range pH actually from us at Fritz Aquatics. We launched these actually towards the end of last year. So I love how you guys have this printed out right here. So we're probably roughly around, we're like 7. So it's good for plants. All right, so what about our shrimp? So our little guys that I picked out, you said they prefer which pH?
They like it a little bit lower, but since it is a planted aquarium, we can get away with keeping it at 6-8.
All right, so now, what do you think? Do you think I can put my shrimp in there now?
Yep.
Okay,
Let's
all
do
right.
it.
She literally was like, we're going to believe in turbo today.
Yeah. So before we grab your shrimp, there is one more thing that we should probably look at.
Okay.
And that's going to be shrimp salts.
Okay.
Since caradinas are a lot more sensitive than the neocaradinas, it is important to make sure that their mineral content is up to par so that you don't run into issues and death with them. So you're going to be wanting to add this after every water change, just make sure that you're replenishing those minerals and stuff that they need.
Okay.
Typically, I do recommend starting with 5 of them.
Oh, you recommend starting with 5? Okay. Well, let's start with 5 then.
It's not like quite the same with caradinas since they're harder to breed, but with neos, starting with a group of 5 is good, just so that you can try and get some good breeding pairs going.
Okay.
But well, I guess with the caradina.
Now, if I wanted to experiment and have other color varieties in this tank, is that an option with these?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not like, I'm not going to have a shrimp or anything to anybody turn psycho.
No, they'll all get along.
Just want to make sure.
That would be really
Things
bad.
are savage in the salt side, okay? Like there is literally a lot of not getting along. So with acclimating right now, we're going to temp acclimate in the bag, and then over the course of the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to add a small little amount from the tank into here, and then we'll just release them. Yep. Okay. So a relatively easy acclimation process, and you can see that they're all little busy bodies and they're ready to go, or else they're very angry because they don't know where they are. No one's gonna know. We'll do their interviews later.
Where's Mr. Crab?
So do you think there's anything else that I might possibly need for this?
The only thing that I would add in there would probably be a pre-filter sponge on here.
Oh, okay.
Since they're still so little, there is a pretty good chance that they'll get sucked up into the back of that.
Okay, we definitely don't want that happening.
I don't recommend getting water from anyone else's system into your own system, so I recommend pouring them out into a net and then just kind of flip.
Hand popping them in?
Yep.
Okay.
Just kind of pop them in there.
All right. All right, cool. Well, thank you, Emma. You got me all set up here. Now I know exactly what I want to do whenever I get home. And I torture Sean with another tank at the house that he probably won't want to help me with.